The Nation of Islam of 1965 has declared Malcolm to be the official enemy, and they have now thrown down the gauntlet on him. Elijah Muhammad isn't doing a thing to stop this war against this one man. The Fruit of Islam are openly calling for Malcolm's death, and not one time have they taken on any white racist groups in physical battle. Yet they want the black community to be afraid of them. In an attempt to clear the air about many misconceptions concerning Malcolm X, Malcolm's personal secretary, Abdullah Razak, formerly James 67X, appears on the nationally televised talk show Like It Is, hosted by Gil Noble on June 7, 1998.
All right. In 63, President Kennedy is assassinated.
Yeah.
And Malcolm is silenced for making what was viewed as intemperate remarks.
Yes.
The chickens had come home to roost.
Yeah.
And he's silenced for 90 days.
Yeah.
After which he does not return. He was not allowed to return, he says. Where were you in that scenario? And what happened thereafter? Did you gravitate toward him when he found he couldn't rejoin and formed his other two organizations? Did you gravitate toward him, or did you still lay out?
Well, actually, at the December 10th meeting at Manhattan Center, I officiated. I was on the telephone to him at home, letting him know what was going on at the meeting.
Oh.
So I had not left the nation, and he had specifically asked that I be there, so I was. At that meeting, as you know, I won't go into it, he made a statement about chickens coming home to roost in response to a reporter's question. And I subsequently found out that he had been silenced. And it was his belief that he had been silenced from speaking outside of the mosques. He did not know that he would not be allowed to take the rostrum in his own mosque. And I was there the day that he came into the door and expected to come up to the mosque, and Captain Joseph stopped him. That's when I was aware that something was wrong, but I didn't know at the moment what. Eventually it was announced throughout the nation that Minister Malcolm had been silenced and that he could not come into the mosque. He was in Class F, Class C or Class F, which meant 90 days out of the mosque. No one can speak to you except to give the greetings, Assalamu alaikum. Can't stop and talk to you, anything like that. And that didn't bother me too much. I mean, I figured after 90 days he'd come back. But then the brothers down in the restaurant, there was a Temple No. 7 restaurant, brothers in there started talking about kill him. Yeah, Big Red, yeah, get rid of him. He never was with the messenger, blah, blah, which was really kind of surprising. So I called him and spoke to his wife. And I said, tell my big brother, just be careful. So she said, be careful of what? I said, just tell him be careful. She said, do you want to speak to him? I said, no, because it was forbidden for me to speak to him. So this kill Malcolm, kill Red started increasing. And so I called again, and I spoke to her again. And I think I called a third or fourth time. Anyway, the last time I called, he took the phone from her. And he said, look, brother, if you got something to say, say it. What is this? I said, hey, well, brother, they're talking about killing you. Well, he laughed. He said, I'm not a Sunday Muslim. He said, I put 12 years into the mosque. No brother would kill me. I said, they're seriously talking about killing you now, and it's escalating. So he asked, would I meet him? I asked where. He said, yeah, we met on 116th Street and 1st or 2nd Avenue or something. And he drove over to Morningside Park between 113th and 114th, parked the car there, and talked to me for about an hour or two about things that were going on in the nation. And at that time, he still expected to be reinstituted. And I said, you're never going back in the mosque. He said, why? I said, John Ali and Joseph, they're going around making all kind of weird statements, hinting that you are sending letters from New York threatening Mr. Muhammad's life and things like that. Yeah, John Ali came and said, yeah, letter comes from the East Coast threatening the messenger's life and alluding, but not saying that Malcolm did this, but hinting. So he told me that he wanted to if this did not happen after March 12th, because I believe he was put in this class December 12th, March 12th would have made 90 days. So he said if he was not reinstated after that, that he was going to strike out on his own. So I said, well, look, I put 3 years in the United States Army and got, treated like a piece of last year's horse manure. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a year of my life. I said, but under these conditions, don't lie to me and don't chump me off. Don't tell me something that's not true. Have me out in left field thinking one thing and something else is going on. He said, I wouldn't do that to you, brother. He said, I got a great deal of respect for your intelligence. You're very perceptive. You even shock me sometimes. I said, that's all I ask. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I feel, one, you were put out without a trial. That was the most damning thing to me. In the nation, you were supposed to get a trial. We were a little national. On the national, it said FJE or something, freedom, justice, and equality. That was, every brother was supposed to have a trial. No matter what he did, he was supposed to stand before the body and be able to defend himself, and Malcolm wasn't. And I said, that's not a way to treat a man who has lived the nation. I mean, everything he did was for the nation. I saw him once about to put his wife out of the mosque. I mean, that guy was, he was a straight arrow for the Nation of Islam.
He was loyal.
There's no question. Even Mr. Muhammad said that. He says, you see this man? He's a true follower. He'll never desert me. Mr. Muhammad said that in Philadelphia. I heard him say it. So,
If this is so, even though he was silenced, even if he was ousted, why was that kind of talk permitted about taking his life?
I think it was not only permitted, that it was encouraged, because no brother would dare say anything like that. You couldn't even say, that brother don't take a bath. You got 30 days for saying something like that. So for going around, and Mr. Muhammad had also written in the Supreme Wisdom, and he also said this, I think, at Uline Arena. He says, you see these brothers? These are Muslims. He says, anyone who kills one of these brothers must be killed. He who murders one of these brothers must be murdered. He said, even if he's his own brother, he must be murdered. You can't take the lives of one of these. I heard him say this. So for brothers now to go out and start talking about killing him, someone had to give them permission or encourage them to do this, in my opinion.